afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Strike Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. Between the south, we got Findeed fighting for Germany for the OWK West for the 5th Panzer Division, holding the line against the Russians as PappyODaniel strikes forwards for the Soviet Union, for the motherland, for the 4th Mechanized Corps. We got here Luftwaffe fortifications and scavenger destruction versus guard motor armored assault tactics and partisan tactics. We've got a very aggressive support company start here from PappyODaniel with the Volksgrenadiers and Kuhlwagens here for Findeed striking out for the fatherland here towards the west. Bulletins for Volksgrenadiers machine guns infantry versus all infantry with a single machine gun there for increased suppression for PappyODaniel. Kuban moving up there, Volksgrenadiers moving up there. So basically both sides are now focusing hard on the west, which means either of them is going to be in for a bit of a nasty surprise, as it's not going to work out for either of them. I mean, Findeed might be able to sort of best react to this with the Kuhlwagen if he doesn't get bogged down, in which case he just hit the Kuhlwagen east, but Grabsmark territory there in the west. On the other hand, of course, if he ambushes PappyODaniel nicely here, I mean, PappyODaniel might lose a lot of ground there. We'll have to see how it works out. But there you go, maximum out there for PappyODaniel. Volksgun is now heading eastwards. So he's basically using them sort of as the backup option there, so having the Kuhlwagen set work with the Sturm Pioneers. Interesting enough, he's trying to secure the area around. He's not grabbing the fuel point first. He might get up slightly punished here by the Maxim as it catches the Sturm Pioneers out in the open, and of course the Kuhlwagen. While a support vehicle is not exactly what you call an assault vehicle. And there you go, the Sturm Pioneers will risk being suppressed here. Nope, they managed to get out of the arc of fire there, pushing back the engineers, but still he has to sort of slightly shift away and needs to grab the fuel there. And of course needs to keep the Volksguns in the south of the mine, having set up for sandbags by the cut-off point. More Volksguns there for Findeed and the 5th Panzer Division. Maxim constant sending westwards there. Going to pressure here Findeed. It looks like overall he seems to be shifting his plans away from the west. Just using the Kuhlwagen there almost as bait, maybe supporting him with the squad and then sending the Sturm Pioneers more southeast. So there's some early sort of thinking on for both players. We've got a second Maxim there on the way for PappyODaniel. Kuhlwagen trying to pull a bit away there. Trying to grab the fuel point. He could maybe try and sort of, keep an eye on and flank it with the Volksgrenadiers. Sturm Pioneer standing about. Volksgrenadiers there grabbing the munitions first. He's almost got the fuel point on the west. There we go. Conscripts roaring in. Nope, by the way. The way he's doing is basically trying to sort of cut off the escape path here of the Kuhlwagen and maybe sort of knock it out. Almost works here. I mean, anti-tank grenades probably could have finished it off there if he sort of followed in a bit more aggressively. But in this case, though, Findeed is quickly getting off there, going for the cut-off point there as well. Drew's getting up behind here, but still got a Maxim covering the cut-off point here. He's not rushing towards the fuel point then. We've got the Volkswagen standing about here, perhaps coming a retreat path for nose there for the Sturm Pioneers, in which case that's not a half bad idea. But still, he's going there for the cut-off point, returning the favour there to PappyODaniel and the 4th Mechanized Corps. Comes to the opening up with Sturm Pioneers, so we'll have to fall back pretty soon. They just hit retreat. Findeed just hit retreat. He's really pushing his light. I mean, he's doing as much damage as he can, but the problem is at this rate he risks, losing them. And there you go. Quick retreat there. Overall, I think he got a lot of them. Cut off the point there. Killed some conscripts. Bought some time. Kuhlwagen heading eastwards. There we got to take up there for Findeed, following up on 3 Volksgrenadiers there for him. 3rd Max on the way for PappyODaniel. That's only going to be tricky here for Findeed's infantry to deal with. Maximum spam tends to be sort of one of the things the OWK West struggles a bit with. If the maximum spam is handled well enough by the Soviet players, simply due to the ability to just pivot instantly with attack move. Sandbags here, and of course the lack of smoke from OWK means you can't just immediately deal with them, and there's no sort of access to mortars and the light infantry gun. One handy isn't necessarily the most needed solution either. But it could of course aim here for the looks. We'll have to see what it is though. Findeed aims for, and certainly looking at the resource state. Battle Group headquarters with the light infantry gun certainly seems more likely here for Findeed and the OWK West at the moment here. Foxes West the Maxim here, but getting caught by another Maxim again. We've now hit the 3 Maxim point. He's moving up in the east there. He's got most of the map that compared to PappyODaniel. Of course, PappyODaniel's got 3 Maxims, so he can push a lot harder against Findeed, who's sort of immediately lacking the methods of dealing with that. It looks like a battle group headquarters here by the cut-off point. No, he's now going for more Volksgrenadiers, so just trying to take up as fast as possible, get some assault rifles out, and maybe a machine gun himself to slow down the enemy a bit. So we'll have to see there. Still got the point here, sandbagged as well. Good job there by Findeed and his men. Here the house just continues to sort of get shot at by a lot of matched machine guns. Kuhlwagen slowly moving ahead, Sturm Pioneers following up. 4 Volkswagen got there for Findeed. And looks like it is the battle group headquarters he's actually aiming for there. He's moving it back towards the base. Conscript squad there pushed back. Maxim moving about. I think what he's trying to do is basically using his bait there, allowing them then to close in the Maxim with another squad, in which case that's a pretty damn sharp maneuver there by Findeed. Damn sharp play there. Going straight for the cut-off point here. We've got an Indian squad blocking it just in the nick of time here. Probably should have sent the other full squad in to support the move, but instead, Pap breaks off in this case, realising it's not going to work out. But there we go. Second assault flying up the west side. Nice assault coordination, I think, going on from Findeed at the moment. They're still going to be tricky again due to the, again, sheer mobility of the Maxims. Again, just attack them, they'll swift in a matter of seconds, just react to the next target and the next target. Again, that's rather what makes the Maxim so lethal and so dangerous, you know, when spammed. It is they can just easily react with the minimum of input. Again, you just need to attack, move, and they can do it like instantly. You don't have to set up anything, just attack, move, and all will be taken care of you, for you. Not of you, but for you. There you go, Kuban trying to get behind. He should have followed up with the assault from the west as well. Once the assault going, I think that's a slight issue there by Findeed. Had he pushed in from the west as soon as you attack from here as well, or from the east, he probably could catch them better off guard and sort of maybe push them off the field. Bad group head was going up there for Findeed. Troops there getting some kills in. Kuban certainly getting some. Going here for the calf pump with some flamethrower use, forces reinforcing, healing, setting out. He'll probably go for light infantry gun. I mean, in theory, he could go for that flat half track, but the problem is, of course, I mean, there's going to be so many counters available to it right away as well. Mines on the cut. Oh, briefly considered, but looks like he decided against it. Forces reinforcing. No medics yet. Sturm Panzer getting gunned down. Machine gun banger there. Dealing a bit with the forces trying to flank away, plus, of course, also spotting them for him. Maximum up there to protect the calf point. He's going to have to flank about through here. Forces there being suppressed. Nothing further there from Findeed. Repairing the Kugelwagen here. Some mines from Findeed earlier could have been helpful. Of course, they grabbed the calf point, but they are getting in a pretty bad situation. They're slowly burning up thanks to the Molotov, so this is a bit of a risk move there and could losing the entire squad. There you go. Barely managed to get out of that one. Folks are setting up the assault. I was going to flank in here and hit the Maxims, everything else from the side. Sturmpanzer Kugelwagen here. Sturmpanzer need to retreat, and they might actually still getting wiped though. Kugelwagen here might have a chance to versus the Maxim if he can manage everything here. Now the Maximum turn to deal with the troops here. Of course, they've got one protecting through here. So that is quickly limiting what Findeed's option size. First going for medics, not additional troops here to pressure his opponent. Sprint for the Maximum towards the fuel point. He could, of course, just try and ignore this, go for the resources in the west, just allow him to grab the part of the map and just grab the other half of the map while he's busy there. I mean, that is an option. Looks like Findeed is going to try and aim for some damage there versus PappyODaniel here. Kugelwagen shifting about here, the Maxim. Trying to get it behind it. Troops here reinforcing, healing. Could go for more sort of assault rifles. Basically remaining in there to neither house remains into the rations. There go Kugelwagen getting caught by a lot. Tanking from the front, still got the Maxim. They need to go push out, get behind. And Kugelwagen is likely going to get knocked out by the Maxims. Can't quite maneuver it fast enough. There you go. Quickly ping behind that Maxim. There you go. He's sprinting there, going to hit retreat. Small chance if he focuses down to get it. Small. But it's potentially grabbed. The Maxim, that'd be a huge win, I think, for Findeed. And yes, got it. Should steal it. Turn it against, you know, at least deny it to PappyODaniel. But he's going to need, there we go, he's lost the Sturmpanzer, he's lost the Kugelwagen. He's got a Maximum in the chamber still. There are some losses there for Findeed, and resource-wise, we can see PappyODaniel suddenly grabbing a lot of the map. That Plus is tagged up, which means he can quickly fill up the light tank, whereas Findeed's been so occupied. Now dealing with the Maxims, he's going to be a bit behind there. More Sturmpanzers following up. There's going to need a Kedner for soon. But still, he got a machine gun. That will still have an impact there against PappyODaniel, but allow him to slow down his infantry and, more importantly, his Maxims as well. Troops healing, reinforcing. Looks like he's moving more towards the west. Not a bad idea. Honestly, he should just rush the engineers instead of just trying to fall into the building. He's just run straight at them, in which case his full gun it is for the assault rifles. Probably would have beat them. There you go, Maxim good to go. Folks heading westwards there. And an additional Sturmpanzer squad there for Findeed and the 5th Panzer Division. Maxim hanging about there. No doctrine yet though from either player. Folks they're being suppressed by the Maxim set up there by the central victory point. Still no sign of vehicles. Their armour from PappyODaniel, who's flooding quite a bit of manpower. And at this point he could easily go for a fuel cache if he wanted to. Up here Sandbeck's going down and preparing for an attack there by the Germans. And Max moving up, people are going to get engaged here by the engineers plus the Maxim there. He's going to have to fall back, mines on the calf point, but within range of the enemy, so he quickly drops that one. And we got some folks sneaking about here, hoping to perhaps spot and outmaneuver the Maxims operating in the area, and that maybe get another wipe or steal another Maxim even. Bold maneuver there by Findeed. Bold. There we go, folks, versus conscript, but there goes cover advantage here to them. Folks is caught out in the open. more troops pushing towards the west here. Findeed scrambling sort of deal again with the Maxims again. They can easily control a lot of territory, and again that's why I'm a bit surprised, for example, with the balanced preview, they haven't done anything to nerf the Maxims at least yet. I mean, that might be the next party that's going to happen here in January. They're going to be looking at the Maxim, and I do sure hope they plan on it, because that one also you need to look at. Instead of going for the Maxim, they're burning away there horribly. Almost got it there. T-70 out there for PappyODaniel. No surprise. He's going for the light infantry gun now. Again, he's basically been so caught up in the pace of the Maxims that now he's going to get caught off guard by a next element. Then that's going to be the T-70. That's going to give Findeed another big headache. I mean, he does need access to a pantry strike here, so he's going to be in a very bad position. He's going to have to rush out like Kednev here. Salvaging the Kuban Vega spotted here by the T-70. He's going to have to retreat. At least meant to enter the point neutral, but PappyODaniel still has a resource advantage there over Findeed. Maxim opening up the other Maxim. Volsker's retreating, Stion Party to get out there as well. Grabbing at least both fuel points there away from PappyODaniel. A small victory there for Findeed and the 5th Panzer Division. Kednev there arriving for Germany. Reinforcing. Volsker's moving up. They're trying to get to harass further in. Maybe draw some attention away from the ones grabbing the fuel point there for Germany. They're going to just push back. There we go, connecting now, trying to flank the Maxim with the Volsker squad there. T-70 rushing in from the east towards the west there, and that's going to cause some further problems. We got the light infantry gun here, and we got like Kednev on the way there for Findeed. Explosions going off there. Volsker squad has to retreat very soon. Almost got the fuel point there back for the Rodina.
Soviet HQ now includes a field hospital. But only for those who
was in a pretty bad situation. Scheiße, what are they expecting us to do without any anti-tank weapons? Scheiße. I hate this. I want to go home. A Kednev Maxim there with Volker sitting about there as well. Bring out a lot more support weapons now. Should be able to threaten PappyODaniel a bit more. Of course, the Max was still present quite a threat there to Findeed. T-70 setting out like Kednev arriving as well. Here we go. Good hit there, good hit. He might not be able to maneuver out fast enough to pop self-repair. Oh! T-70, or Kednev in this case, was too slow actually to get off the second shot, allowing the T-70 to get away. Close though, it was close. It still should force it a bit away here. Maxim there taking losses from light infantry gunfire, and the Maxim there, could see a wipe there, could see a wipe. More counters called in there for PappyODaniel. No doctrine still chosen for neither player. Almost got the Maxim, they does escape. Still a small victory there for Findeed. Fult's getting ready here to try and flank behind the Maxim. Still on his pinned down. Back at base, nothing further going on there for Findeed. Still no doctoral choices, and he could of course go for more assault rifles by now, just further increase the firepower. I mean, that's the thing about the assault rifles here. They all will represent just a boost in firepower. I mean, at range, the assault rifles are better than the regular weapons. There is no reason not to upgrade the assault rifle unless you want to use the munition as something else. Quickly turn a grenade there, flanking in, good work. Gute Arbeit, Leute. Other folks come up. There you go, caught by the T-70, needs to panther faster than retreat, I think. Also got a bit of threatening here around the fuel point on the west. We've got a mine there. Good spot there from PappyODaniel. Might try and catch here the T-70, though he still needs something to spot ahead for it. Ah, missed. Fritz, how could you miss? How could you miss? Idiot. Second shot misses as well there. Pulls back like Kednev pretty quickly, risking there, of course, getting annihilated here. Maxim caught by the German Maxim. Lightning gun there's going to have to fire. Fun fact, the Maxim was also what the Germans used in World War I, by the way. In fact, they sort of had a light machine gun variant on it. Though still pretty damn heavy. Like could sort of be wielded like one, if you will. He just being suppressed by the Maxim. Pushed away. Lightning gun there pushed away as well. Well, Maxim there grabbing the fuel point here. Sandbags right next to the mines. You know, Otto, I feel like this is a really good spot to dig in. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. On the other hand, does not feel good there, I think. Oh, gets away. A bit lucky there. But yeah, this is just... oh dear. Take up there for Findeed. He's going to try and aim for some armor. He's certainly under a lot of pressure there from Pappy, who's now going for double mortars. He's suddenly going all in there on the artillery, realizing he's been throwing a lot of manpower. Wisely decided to utilize it. They could have gone for casualties. In this case, he basically aims for now for artillery superiority through double. Oh, cancels one though. Cancels one. There you go. Instead, takes up. Not a bad idea at all there from PappyODaniel line and for Mekhanov's call. But Kednev shoots, misses. Folks are holding up there behind the mines. T-70 takes a hit there. Fultz's need to retreat. Suppressed. He needs to retreat there. I mean, he doesn't know what happens if he retreats at the wrong time. There we go. In the east, though, fuel pond there secured. Needs to send some troops towards that. We got the truck moving up. They'll probably set up a Schwerpanzer to sort of guard this area. Maxim veterans 1-6 kills mines going down there. We can see sort of Findeed trying to set up a strong zone here around the centre. They go spot it. Constant push back there. Got Fultz moving about. They could try and flank behind the rations here. Looks like that's in fact what Findeed is planning. That's good. I think a strong move there. Tech up done there for PappyODaniel. He could actually right now rush out a T-3476 there versus Findeed. Tilly fire there against the Maxim house. Needs to pull the Maxim out there before he loses it. That would, I think, be a loss there. Findeed would struggle with. Okay, retreat, Findeed. Scheiße. Schnell. Oh, it's going to be too late there, I think. Ah, Findeed. Sending it off against the Maxim. Sprint. He's still not retreating his own Maxim. He's going to lose it. Oh. Close there. And he's just harassing. He's not trying to move into sort of, deal with it here. With the Maxim. Troops setting up there towards the west. Truck still not setting up. Troops went down here through the centre now with nothing to support. We got the T-10 moving towards the east as well. The Volkswagens will need to retreat there. Truck not setting up here either. Still no doctrine from either player. Volkswagen still much catching the Maxim there, pushing away lightning gun auto firing. And there you go. Almost got a wipe there. He's going to get wiped there by the Maxim on the retreat path though. Plus the engineers laying down mines. PappyODaniel there also think playing quite aggressively and smartly there versus Findeed. Again, it is very much sort of fueled here by the Maxims, and again the sheer mobility combined with suppressive firepower. In terms of damage, PappyODaniel said kills while still Findeed's got a slight edge there over PappyODaniel. I mean, he's not too far off the army value wise, pretty close. I mean, Findeed's got the edge there as well, but again he is struggling then resource slot wise though. I mean, pretty close. A bit more jagged there with his opponent points out-wise. So again, it's rather been PappyODaniel sort of... Again, Findeed initially had a good start there. He was able to contain the Maxims to a point of promise. Once that happened, once the Maxims basically broke loose, Findeed just, struggled a lot more with map control there versus PappyODaniel. And there's basically sort of the primary issue there for him. And of course, now the T-70 has been added further. I mean, PappyODaniel can much more aggressively control the map, in part because Findeed never managed to lay down any mines beforehand, which could also slow down maybe some progress and maybe made it easier to get the T-70. Plus, of course, just some bad luck. They're not getting the T-70 knocked out. I mean, he had been able to knock out the T-70 by now. He'd probably also be in a much stronger position there versus PappyODaniel. But right now, he needs to get out some armor and needs to get it faster. I mean, in this case, get out a Schwerpanzer quarter, which I would probably then recommend either a Yak Panzer or a Panther for. A Panther is possible, but it's just going to take more time. And the problem is, time is just not something is necessarily on his side. So in that regard, while a Panther would probably be a stronger choice, it might not quite hit fast enough to actually have a proper effect there for Findeed. So the Yak Panzer to help deal with all the armor, or Panther 4 to also have an edge there. Versus the infantry, I think, is going to be the more primarily important things there for Findeed. He also needs to consider doctrine soon. And in that regard, I'd probably aim towards Luftwaffe ground forces, specifically Valiant Assault and the Fallschirmjäger. Valiant Assault would allow him to much more aggressively attack and, try and catch the Maxims off guard. Plus the air reconnaissance would also help that purpose. He could also go here for scavenge with grenades and Jaegers, maybe an Ostwind if it comes down to that. Fortifications, I think, at this point is a bit too late. I mean, in theory, he could go for it, though. A Pak 43, a howitzer, could provide him with a lot of firepower, independent of his fuel supply, which could, of course, deal with a lot of armor, but also just apply a lot of pressure to the support weapons. I mean, fortifications could also work. I mean, they're all good for different reasons. The question is, what path will Findeed here take versus PappyODaniel? Of course, need to harass the fuel more, otherwise he needs to take care of the Maxims and get out some armor fast. So again, Panther 4, Yak Panther, I think, are sort of the primary choices there for Findeed. Orbital Dino would also be, I think, be a good help there versus the enemy infantry. As for PappyODaniel, I mean, he's keeping up good pressure there. He's got a lot of munitions, though. He also needs to choose a doctrine. But, lay down more mines to try and stall down any counterattack from Findeed and get out some bigger tanks. I mean, he also considers some fuel caches would also be a good choice, I think, there for PappyODaniel. But also, got motor, armored assault, parts, and all. Well, at this point, Parton sort of really thinks sort of lift out most of his advantage. So there's not really much point in going for this, which leaves him without armored assault or guard motor. I mean, again, he's not really using guardsmen and needs them as such. I mean, he can just go for regular infantry. I mean, at this point, he might as well just go for armored assault tactics, call out T-35s and IS-2s with air support there. I mean, he's got plenty of munitions for that as well. So in that regard, I think armored assault is looking like a very good choice. Though, of course, guard motor is still a good one. I mean, he could still easily afford to call up guardsmen and a heavy mortar if he wants to. Plus, of course, T-35s would also be available from there. But let's return to the fight here and see what actually happens. Mines stay on the cut-off point. Need to get out of that house, Findeed. It's not structurally safe. And forces then engaged again with the T-70. Maxim then to fire from the light infantry gun. He's moving up, then trying to get off against the conscripts. T-3476 almost done for PappyODaniel. Forces flanking there, got quickly sending it off against the Maxim. Kednev hits it off on the T-70. Almost gets it again, almost but not quite. Forces taking on Kednev here. Still hasn't set up that tech though, still hasn't jumped out of this point in the mine. Good work there with Findeed. Maxim almost what can get it again, that would be great, that would be great. And, oh, gets it, but will he steal it this time around? I would suggest he does it though. I mean, the more he can do to the stall and just deny weapons to PappyODaniel, the better. Victory points, whilst also we note here that PappyODaniel does have a fat lead there over Findeed at the moment, which is certainly not in Findeed's interests. T-3476 moving down there, he's going to need like Kednev on that, both of them. Closest immediately under fire. Needs to get up that spare Panzer's quarters, and there you go, finally. You can actually pop up that Panzer IV as soon as it's done. Of course, you can also aim for the Yak Panzer. Mortar there, by the way, within range of the light infantry gun, getting bombarded there. Note, by the way, how he set it up there, it makes it harder, I think, for the light infantry to get to it. In this game, the way it's firing, it might just help a bit, but still, might just help. Still almost got it there as well. Second mortar moving up there, and actually wipes the mortar impressively. Maxim there catches the other. Maxim moves ahead to jump on about support, and there goes a press. Gonna have to retreat that one. Pinned down already. Almost 32 there on the German Maxim. Back here, troops in reinforcing. Needs to get moving. Spare Panzer's border's almost done. I mean, he is close to the Panther, but again, when it comes to these things, it matters of timing. Sometimes just getting out something faster will do a lot more for you. And the current sort of pressure that Findeed is under might not allow for a Panther. Of course, a Panther could allow him to sort of push back hard. So it's a bit, you know. I mean, it could either could work really depending on how he plays them. As long as he just doesn't play the Panther passively, otherwise it's GG. Also troops moving towards the west, harass there again, good. T-7 they almost getting knocked out by Kednev, but again will escape. T-54 getting blasted by others. Although Kednev in that case misses quite spectacularly. More Kednev fire there, just attack round. Troops reinforcing, healing again. And I think at this point, Findeed is very much aiming here for the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. He's going to basically try and aim for some kind of superiority. The problem is now, PappyODaniel has in fact gone for armoured assault tactics. Forces are getting blasted with the T-7, need to retreat, oh dear. Findeed and then has yet to choose one. And again, PappyODaniel, of course, could bring up T-35, so of course, could at this point aim for the IS-2. Though if he does, that could give Findeed a chance of getting back into the fight if he uses his armour correctly. Though again, he still needs to choose a doctrine as well to sort of support it. It very much looks like Panther play there from Findeed. And the 5th Panzer Division, T-54 moving down there. Though we got a Kednev nearby supporting this time around. Plus one of the Pilford Maxims. More might here from Findeed to try and cover up against a head-on assault. A Kednev hits and misses. Specifically it hits something else. And there goes second miss as well. Terrible accuracy on that Kednev though so far. Maxim dealing with the full gun of these in the centre. We got Constant pushing ahead. Then Maxim though now covering here. This time they're now virtually 2 Maxim crew. Increasing suppression, making it harder there for PappyODaniel's troops to move through here. Folks are getting ready. John Panty, there you go. Another Kednev hit. This time it actually hits. Close to Veteran 2-1. Other one is close to Veteran 2 actually, which is pretty good. And there you go. Findeed can get it in the Panther, in which case he needs to go for it. Now again, time-wise, he can't afford to wait. He can't afford to dawdle, and there you go, Panther on the way. Still no doctrines, though. Still no doctrines. I mean, almost at this point, he could go for Luftwaffe just to call in an airborne assault. I mean, that way, you know, launching into elite infantry. But still, a doctrine needs to be chosen soon. Choices need to be made. Still Panthers on the way there. PappyODaniel still floating a ton of munitions. Next, there getting blasted by the little infantry gun, though is so far having a bit rubbish chance hitting. And PappyODaniel looks like he's aiming here for the IS-2, the Joseph Stalin 2 tank. Decent nothing against into the Kednev. Might hit the mine there. In this case, the quick outmaneuvers it. Forced retreat. Maximus dealing with the Maxim there. Mac Light gun joining in. Maximus is also has to retreat from the East. Panther, they're almost done here for Findeed and the 5th Panzer Division. Maxim covering the west there. Good work by PappyODaniel, who will maintain the stranglehold there on for Findeed. And there you go. Panther out. Panzer Kampfwagen for the 5th Panzer Division. Enough for the Maxim to defend the victory point. Full system pies following up. PappyODaniel getting ever closer to their victory points, whilst though Findeed is getting a bit lower there. Still almost got the pin about machine gun there on the Wehrmacht or Oberkommando West Panther. Fun fact, the difference between that one and the Wehrmacht Panther is in part you can actually get the Oberkommando West Panther out faster. Also, well, its machine guns are better and it has better accuracy, both standing still and on the move. Also, it requires slightly more experienced actors to sort of get to high levels of veterancy, but when it actually does more damage, that's less of a problem, actually.
Mission accomplished.
Talk towards the centre, they need to get anything up there. You could consider by flanking with the Panther through here, supported with some infantry, in particular Orbison would be a good choice, or Fallschirmjägers. And he could have some options there for popping in some Fallschirmjägers out from some positions, that way supports his advance. In particular then pops Valiant Assault, then you pull off I think a pretty impressive assault there against PappyODaniel, while he got a field gun now supporting his frontline armour against the Panther there from Findeed and the Oberkommando West. Of course at this point he could also just go for scavenge destruction and get an Ostwind to support the Panther. That wouldn't be a half bad thing either. An Ostwind flanking at times can actually be quite dangerous. There you go, Maxim stopped. He's not doing much, let's rush towards his defence at the centre. We've got an engineer squad flanking in there, spotting like Kednev for there. T-7 moves ahead, spots and fires at it. Kednev gets a good hit back. There goes second Kednev that gets the T-70. Good job there. Panther is moving towards the east though. He's moving straight to the front there. Again, he's not trying to flank. He's just moving straight to engage the enemy head on, which he should leave his support weapons to. And there you go, we got an airstrike there from PappyODaniel. IO2's doing big strikes, Fulton's then caught. Schwer panzered quarters which shouldn't be trying to deal with it, plus of course the 2cm flags and the anti-aircraft machine gun there mounted on the Panther, which is actually part of what those machine guns there were meant for, shooting an aircraft. Oberstad now get light machine guns there, Findeed, Schnell. IS2 up here for PappyODaniel. Field gun supporting it. It's going in like Ken support, there you go. IS2 penetrates, Panther bounces. Fulton moving westwards. IS2 gets another penetrating hit there. Panther gets one, but needs to pull back the IS2 there. Also hits there from the field gun. T-Fed 476 following up. Where are the Kednefers? They're both moving up there. Orbison in trouble. Need to retreat there. Need to retreat. Rückzug. What are you expecting to do, Findeed? They're Obersoldaten. Not Jesus Christ with the machine gun. I'm pretty sure even Jesus Christ couldn't stop an IS2. T-34 there. Down to half health, but he just wasting the entire Obersoldaten squad. Pretty bad news there for Findeed. Panther and Dynamic repairs. The Storm Pioneers are back there. Need to get them over to the Panther. Unit here wiped as well. PappyODaniel is now just crushing Findeed. The IS2 is basically an armoured behemoth here, shrugging off most of the damage. The thing to keep in mind about the IS2 is it has a really good AoE, plus it's got, I believe, the same armour level in the game as the King Tiger.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Plus good penetration. What's being suppressed by the Maxim, grabbing the fuel point on the west. Could be forced here to go for the Yak, perhaps the Prime Minister of Findeed is quickly bleeding out victory points here against PappyODaniel. Sandbags by the eastern fuel point there. Two's coming up for the centre. Maxim here, closing in on Veteran D3. Field gun bombardment on the Maxim. Sharp response there from PappyODaniel, of course, mortar is supporting as well. IS2 moving ahead. He maybe could pop a flare there to get a clear idea there what awaits him from Findeed, but seems like he doesn't care. IS2 shoots misses. McKenna's opening up, penetrating with solid hits there from the rockets, the 88mm rockets. Next volley though completely fails to penetrate the thick armoured hide of the IS2. Panther ready to go again. Will he go for another Panther? Will he go for Yak Panther? I mean, if he goes for the Yak Panther, he'd have gone for it soon, of course. That way, at least could add a bit more of an impact. Whereas now he's running out of victory points. Still on Panther with the light machine gun, which Findeed fails to secure. But now, oh, maybe. Oh, he's going to lose them. He's going to lose them. Nope, looks like they might get away. Nope, got wiped there. A straight shot. He's doing some damage to the T-34, but he just can't break in. Again, he needs to try and flank. He needs to try and catch PappyODaniel off guard. They're just trying to engage him head on every single time, which is where the field just basically sort of does a lot of damage, plus all the support weapons. We got a Yak Panther on the way here, though, for Findeed again. Probably should have gone for it sooner, and he still hasn't chosen a doctrine here. I mean, he probably could have done a lot more with one as well. There's clearly been some mistakes there from Findeed. I would all say some nice play there from him. Panther moves ahead again there, gets a kill on the mortar crew. They're going to get a penetrating hit there on the Panther. The Wester grabbing the fuel pond there with the Maxims again.
We are suffering heavy losses.
50 points left here. Another bombardment there from the field gun. IC almost got it. Field gun almost got the Max in the neck. Which one will finish it off? IS-2 annihilates the entire machine gun and crew. Ergo Yak Panzer arrives there for Findeed and the 5th Panzer Division. Will it be enough? 31 points left. IS-2 takes a penetrating there from the Yak Panzer. Panther gets a penetrating as well. Air support going in. IS-2 down to half health here from the 2 heavily gunned German armoured fighting vehicles. There you go. Panther almost knocked out here. T-34 rams it. Damages the engine. Goes down. Problem is that he still hasn't gone to any of the victory points. He's too focused on knocking out the tanks. So while his Panther and Yak Panther survives, he's lost the fight. Because he can't push through. But of course he still hasn't chosen a doctrine there. Bit of surprising development there. Didn't quite spot that one while observing the fight there. I was too caught up in everything else. But there you go, short, brutal fight here between Findeed and PappyODaniel. PappyODaniel certainly putting the maximum to his test. Findeed, I think, overall handled it all right, but again, there were mistakes committed there throughout the fight. And the lack of a doctrine, I think, definitely did not aid Findeed throughout this fight, though. Plus, you know, tendency to just try and engage head-on instead of trying to outmaneuver at times and sort of catch PappyODaniel off guard, and more minds, I think, would also benefited Findeed nicely there versus PappyODaniel. PappyODaniel, though, putting the Soviets to good use. Also, the IS-2, they're certainly a rare sight nowadays, but he shows it's clearly quite a contender, and certainly not something to be taken lightly there, which is Maxims. Mortar fighting could have been a bit better. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay of your own or provide some feedback in the comment section. This is PappyODaniel saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another Sunday episode. Cheers.